If her treatment team decides to plan any trips off of the Alberta Hospital facility, they will need to submit those plans in detail to the Solicitor General, who will then approve the plans, deny the plans, or make amendments to them to assure that there is no risk to the community.
In April 2006, the quiet suburban life of the Richardson family Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada, came to a brutal end. Mark and Deborah Richardson, along with their 8-year-old son, Tyler, were found murdered in their home. At the center of this tragedy was their 12-year-old daughter, Jasmine Richardson, and her 23-year-old boyfriend, Jeremy Steinke, a man she met just months before, who claimed to be a 300-year-old werewolf. Together, they plotted a horrifying plan that would tear apart their family and spark outrage across the globe. But why? What could drive such a young girl to betray the people who loved her? And how did her relationship with Jeremy Steinke descend into such darkness? Watch this video till the end to discover the horrifying truth. The Richardson family lived a seemingly ordinary life in the quiet city of Medicine Hat, Alberta. Mark, 42, was a hard-working father who provided for his family with a steady job in the oil and gas industry. Deborah, 48, was a loving mother who was deeply involved in raising their 2 children, Jasmine, 12, and Tyler, just 8 years old. The family lived in a small, cozy home in a peaceful suburban neighborhood where everyone knew each other. From the outside, the Richardsons seemed like any typical family, but as Jasmine entered her preteen years, cracks began to form. Like many teenagers, she began to rebel against her parents' rules, but her rebellion went far beyond what anyone could have imagined. What started as disagreements over curfews and clothing escalated into full-blown fights, especially after Jasmine began dating Jeremy Steinke. This was the beginning of a dark turn for the family. Jasmine's relationship with Jeremy Steinke began in a way that many teenage romances do, online. At 12 years old, Jasmine was active on social media sites like vampirefreaks.com, a platform popular among goth subcultures at the time. It was here she met Jeremy, a 23-year-old man who stood out with his dark clothing, heavy eyeliner, and claims of being a 300-year-old werewolf. For Jasmine, who was struggling with her identity and clashing with her parents, Jeremy's mysterious and rebellious persona was intoxicating. The age gap was alarming to her parents. Mark and Deborah quickly disapproved of the relationship, banning Jasmine from seeing Jeremy. But their efforts to protect her only pushed her closer to him. The couple continued to communicate secretly, often exchanging messages that grew darker over time. Jeremy's influence on Jasmine was chilling. He introduced her to violent fantasies, and their conversations became filled with mentions of revenge and hatred toward her parents. They even compared themselves to Bonnie and Clyde, romanticizing the idea of rebellion and destruction. For Jasmine, Jeremy represented freedom from the rules she despised. For Jeremy, Jasmine was a symbol of devotion and loyalty, someone willing to do anything for him. Together, their bond became a dangerous spiral toward tragedy. On April 23, 2006, Jasmine and Jeremy put their plan into action. That night, Jeremy came to the Richardson home, carrying a knife, while Jasmine was already inside. The attack started in the basement, where Mark and Deborah Richardson were. Mark tried to fight back, but Jeremy overpowered him. Deborah was also attacked, and both parents were stabbed multiple times. It was a brutal and violent scene. Afterward, the focus shifted upstairs to 8-year-old Tyler. He was asleep in his room when Jasmine and Jeremy came for him. Reports suggest Jasmine may have tried to calm him before Jeremy killed him. Tyler didn't stand a chance. Once the murders were done, Jasmine and Jeremy left the house. The next morning, a neighbor, worried about Tyler not showing up to play, came to check on the family. When they looked through the window, they saw the horrific scene and called the police. The murders shocked everyone who heard about them. It wasn't just the brutality of the crime, it was the fact that a 12-year-old girl helped plan and carry it out. After the murders, Jasmine and Jeremy fled to Jeremy's friend's house and later tried to leave town. However, they didn't get far. Police quickly identified them as suspects based on evidence at the crime scene and their online conversations. Less than 24 hours after the bodies were discovered, the couple was found in Leader, Saskatchewan, about 130 kilometers away from Medicine Hat. They were arrested without incident. During the investigation, authorities uncovered disturbing messages between Jasmine and Jeremy. These messages revealed that the murders had been planned for weeks. Jasmine spoke openly about wanting her family gone, and Jeremy was more than willing to help. They even exchanged notes and emails outlining their plan, showing a disturbing lack of remorse. The discovery of this evidence left investigators stunned. It wasn't just the physical crime that was shocking, it was how cold and calculated the planning had been, especially coming from someone as young as Jasmine. Their arrest and the details of their relationship immediately made headlines. A 12-year-old girl plotting to murder her family with her much older boyfriend was a story that horrified people worldwide. When the case went to trial, the public was shocked by the gruesome details that emerged. Jasmine Richardson, just 12 years old at the time of the murders, was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Under Canadian law, because of her age, Jasmine could not be tried as an adult. She was sentenced to 10 years, the maximum penalty for someone her age, which included time in custody followed by supervision in the community. Jeremy Steinke, 23 years old, was tried as an adult. His defense claimed he was influenced by his love for Jasmine and his distorted view of the world. But the jury found him guilty on all counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole eligibility for 25 years. During the trial, chilling details of their relationship and crime planning were revealed. Jeremy described himself as a natural-born killer, referencing the infamous movie, while Jasmine was portrayed as a manipulative and willing participant. Together, they formed a toxic bond that ended in tragedy. Jasmine's sentence focused heavily on rehabilitation. She entered an intensive program aimed at reintegrating young offenders back into society. Over the years, Jasmine showed significant progress, earning praise from counselors and judges alike. By 2016, she had completed her sentence and was released, starting a new life under a different name. Jeremy remains in prison, serving his life sentence. Public reaction to Jasmine's release was mixed, with some arguing she was too young to fully understand her actions, while others believed the punishment didn't fit the crime. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe.